The harp is probably the world's oldest musical instrument, at least according to historians, going back thousands of years. It creates a unique sound, and Ken Wilshire found a unique story about the harp on the banks of the Tennessee River. A couple there not only make the music, but also the classic instrument for making the music.
You know, when you go for a walk in these beautiful Tennessee woods and music comes to mind, it's usually country or bluegrass or gospel. And it's usually played with traditional instruments like the banjo or guitar or fiddle. Well, if you listen closely in these woods, you might hear some pretty non-traditional music played with non-traditional instruments. Beautiful, beautiful sound.
Yes, it is a beautiful sound, especially in the hands of an accomplished musician and teacher like Sheila Mitchell-Hart of Holiday, Tennessee. This bowed psaltery is an ancestor of those found in biblical times, but this one is also the inspiration of Sheila and the creation of her husband Danny.
I built psalteries that made me think the psaltery behind us is our design too. It's mentioned in the Bible, P-S-A-L-T-E-R-Y, bowed psaltery, and we designed our own, and she plays that also and has students. I've built a bunch of psalteries.
And it is easy to forget about his handcrafted psalteries and dulcimers when you see and hear his pride and joy, the harp. You might say these alluring instruments are the result of a very happy marriage.
We got together with my woodworking skills and her musical ability and playing harps. We decided to start making harps. She couldn't buy harps to suit her, so we built her harps. She tells me what she wants, and I draw it and build it, and then we tweak it till it gets right.
Danny was born into a musical family where it was country, bluegrass, and gospel, but it was his father who influenced him most with his woodworking skills.
His whole family were woodworkers. I can remember sweeping the shop floor when I was probably 6 years old. And I've done other things for a living, but I've always done a little woodworking as a hobby.
Well, it's far more than a hobby now. Danny's master craftsmanship in the creation of these Celtic harps is exquisite, and the sounds are magical.
We want something that's more lightly strung than a pedal harp for folk music, and we want a really clear sound. And so that's sort of our objectives when we start: playability and a nice, clear, ringing sound. We have two different string spacings, concert spacing for most people, and we have a closer spacing for someone that has smaller fingers or a child. String tension is very important so that you have enough tension to make a good sound, but not so much that it's hard to play. Size of the harp is pretty standard. 34 string is standard for Celtic harp.
I don't use any kits or any plans from anybody else. Ours are all original, from scratch. And I draw them up on the dining table on a piece of white board and draw all my patterns and plans myself to suit her. The string spacing and all that is unique. Our harps, and I just start working on it, cutting out the parts, and use a lot of glue to glue it together. Sound box and the sound board, of course, I work in a vacuum press. The sound box on the round backs, it's made of, it's actually 5 plies. It comes about when I get it all the parts put together, it'll be a harp. And it still amazes me how I can take rough 1-2 inch lumber and come up with something that'll make such a beautiful sound.
It's a pure sound, you know, if you think about it, I can't think of another instrument where you actually pluck the string and the sound produces from a single pluck. If you think about the guitar or the fiddle, you press your finger on a fret or on a fretboard and you use a pick or a bow or something to produce the sound, but with a harp you actually pluck the string and there it is.
Well, it's kind of peaceful and soothing. We have people, when we go various places, it'll bring tears to their eyes and they'll tell her, you know, how they enjoy it and how it's relaxed them and blessed them with the music, you know, so it's different. The harp music is very different.
Danny and Sheila do lead more traditional lives. He has a full-time business that keeps him occupied. She teaches harp, piano, voice, and more. But it's the harp making and playing that gently tugs on their heartstrings while creating harmony in their marriage from the music of their harp strings.